Hi, it's Erin from Earth Healer Movement. I'm starting the second part to this video right now, right after the other one. I didn't even take a break. I just want to get right into it and get this done and over with. So I'm talking about racism. Go listen to the message right before this and you'll get an idea of like what I'm talking about. And this is like a huge topic that I needed to make another video because the other video was an hour long and this is like a part 2 to that. So it's about, I'm not sure what the title is going to be until after I talk about this message and get the message from the spirit above. But I was talking about racism and the inequalities of people and how like racism in general and slavery in general, like, so what I found to be true is I still need to go back and research more on this, but what I got was that there's been so much slavery in this country and around the world. It didn't start in America, the slavery. The slavery started like in Africa with the Africans enslaving the white people. So that's what I got from a source, which I have to fact check that, but it's being pushed around this narrative that there's been slavery. The slavery started with the white people being the slaves to the black people in Africa. I'm hearing like English, German, French. I don't know what the Italian, I don't know. Greek, I have no idea. Okay, so I'm gonna have to go research that, but what I wanted to talk about was how, different people have suffered, like different groups have suffered. Like Jewish people are white. Women with the sex trafficking and the arranged marriages and the sexual exploitation and the objectification of women as objects, sex objects, the manipulation of women, the not giving women the same ability to like vote and to work at the same level in jobs and like even being an authority like a president of America. I mean, it's like obvious. And like how we saw in like the 60s and the 50s and earlier, in the beginning of the country, being a slave to the man, like having to cook and clean and take care of the kids, and that was literally, and being abused. I'm seeing like physical and sexual abuse of women. There's so much domestic violence still in our country. Women are being killed, shot, killed, physically abused every day by men of all races. And I'm getting a lot of like African American, Mexican, like every race Asian. It's like this controlling behavior of the men trying to control the women and being abusive verbally, emotionally, physically. And I experienced it myself with an Asian man. It's not just white men that are doing it. So there's reasons for that, and it's coping mechanisms from abuse. So you cannot feel entitled to anything when you are racist and abusive to another person. And there's reverse racism, as I talked about in the prior video. So don't think because I go into my particular races, the people that are, there's reverse racism. So you think like white people aren't being treated racist, and that is such a thing. I had like an argument with my daughter about, because my kids are Asian, they're half Asian, and they argue with me about racism. So they think, my oldest daughter who graduated from college and everything, I'm telling her there's reverse racism, and she's like, no, there isn't. And it's like, I experienced it. Like, I know that I've been oppressed and treated badly because of my race, because of my being a woman, because of the job that I did. I've been objectified and sexually profiled, and I've been treated bad by white people, by every single race, by women, by men, by everybody. So don't tell me that I haven't been oppressed when I'm telling you I have. I've been from my own family, just for being me, for being authentic to who I am. I've had to go against the grain my entire life, so I know what that's like. How could I sit here and talk about all these topics and all these things and try to help humanity if I didn't experience it myself firsthand? How dare I talk about subjects that I have no clue about? How could I even know about them if I didn't walk a day in their shoes? I spent the majority of my life feeling that oppression on purpose. Like, wanting to be with another race to feel what they feel and experience what they experience, not because to just do it, but because I felt like that's what I needed to do. Like, that's where my relationship went. Like, I just happened to be in a relationship with people of different races. So, and I chose to do that. I didn't choose an easier way. I didn't say, oh, this is going to be too hard, I'm not going to do it. I made the choice to do it. And so I feel like I've earned a right to say what I'm saying, that I'm not just saying it. And by me saying it as a white woman, that could have more impact on solving the problem than somebody of another race. Because why is she doing it? Why am I doing it? Other than to help people. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm not out here like, oh, white women need rights. No. That would be stupid. That would be really stupid. Like, oh, pretty women need rights. No, that's not what I'm saying. That's funny though. Yeah, we would just be laughed at and like told to shut up. So there is racism there. See what I'm saying? Like you're just a dumb blonde, shut up. Like, go back to, you can get any man you want, like, just look at you. Yeah, but do you want a man that's gonna treat you like a sex object and like you're dumb? Why would you want to be with somebody like that? And that's not the point. The point is like equality of like respect and like decent justice of all, like being treated well. Who cares if you can like get a man and survive, like you're gonna be like you're not gonna starve to death or like be homeless, maybe, but like you could be beaten and killed and murdered if you don't do what they say. Like, do I have a right to those rights? What about like going on dates and being with strangers in their car and having men, aggressive, strong men that are like, that you can't wrestle with them or like overpower them. You're in a weaker position to begin with. So where is your power? Your power is in your voice. Your power is in your boundaries and your rules. And what if people don't accept those boundaries and rules? They can rape you and beat you up and do anything that they want with you because of their power. So what about those rights? What can I at least have some respect for being a weaker target? It's like a wolf and a bunny. Like the little bunny is going on a date with this big bad wolf and they're just supposed to shut up and be quiet and do whatever the wolf wants to survive. That's not fair to the little bunny. The bunny doesn't like that. It's like, would you want to be treated like that? That's not fair. Don't vote. Just go. You're a woman, so your job is to have babies and shut up and just cook and clean every single day so my life is better. So when I come home from work, there's food on the table, my clothes are cleaned, my kids are taken care of and fed and their homework's done, and I can play with them and then go to sleep and do it all over again the next day. Well, when we're divorced, when we're not treated right and we divorce you because you're so horrible to us, then what? When we have to work and take care of the kids and then you're off with some other floozy woman that will just listen to whatever you have to say, who's weak-minded, and we're left to do it all, to have a job because the government isn't going to give us enough money to, most of the time, to take care of the kids, have daycare, especially when the guys move away because they're weak-minded, they're vulnerable because they can't express emotion. Those type of guys that leave their families, they're emotionally weak. They can't handle the fact that we left you. And they're not dealing with those emotions, so they can't even be around their kids because it's too emotional. It hurts their ego too much. So they got to blame the woman and think that they're brainwashing the kid against them, telling them bad things about their dad. Maybe some women are. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not true. But you have to understand, you have to get over whatever emotional problems that you have to grow. You can't just leave your kids. That's your fault if you leave your kids. Like my husband did, my ex-husband. I didn't do anything to keep him from his kids. He left. And doesn't even have a relationship barely with his kids. He would say that that's not true, but it is true. And he did everything to try to harm my life, to get back at me for leaving him. So don't think that like white people don't suffer, or like white women especially. Or don't think that minorities can't get ahead because of their race. We have to think of each other as equals, and that we're all suffering. We're all being oppressed. We're all being treated badly. We're all, and a lot of us are treating the white men badly because of the way they are. And they might deserve it, some might not. So it's like, think about the boys that were raised by the white boys that were raised by the white men that treated them bad, or the grandfathers or whatever, or training them to be like them, and the pushback and the conflict that causes, or the aggressive white males that turn to alcohol or drugs or whatever, and that their kids are growing up in that environment. Like all the white families that are under the roofs of alcoholics and drug addicts, heroin addiction. Like, look at all the white trailer park trash, like white trash kind of people with their teeth missing. They're like Mountain Dew addicts and like dirt poor, barefoot and pregnant. Like, we're all going through stuff. And it hasn't always been like this. Like I'm saying, like there was white slaves first. The black people actually were the rulers, like in Africa and stuff. They were the ones in charge. Like the tribes, all the African American tribes and Native American tribes, and the rules and the sacrifices that they did, and the killings that they did. And like, I'm hearing like concentration camps, like the Jewish concentration camps, and there's been Japanese, there's been I don't know all the different types there's been, but the point is that like, I don't like it when big groups of like people try to segregate themselves. Like, they try to gain back their power by using some oppression. Like for instance, like, if all the black people of our nation, I don't want to get backlash from this because I love black people. Like, literally my twin flame is black, he's African American. Like, I feel like my past life, I was Harriet Tubman. Like, I'm literally trying to free everybody here. I'm trying to unite everybody. So in order to unite everybody, I want us to get on equal playing fields so our egos don't go off the chains. So that's what I feel like's happening with African American. It's like they want, their egos want to be back on top. Like, they want to rule the world again. Like, they want to be those tribal leaders again. Like, they want to, like, because of slavery and all the injustice, like, they want to overpower everybody. Like, that's almost like the impression that I'm getting. Like, they want to dominate and like oppress all of us, like all the other people of the world. And it's like, how is that fair? Because then you're turning into the predator. You can't do that. You have to play on equal playing field. Like, you have to realize your own racism, because that's reverse racism against all the other ethnicities. And I know there's a thing about black people and Asian people not getting along, like in the ghettos or whatever, because the Asians were the business owners. So I'm getting that from like the LA riots in, like, was it the 90s? The whole Rodney King thing, where the African Americans were throwing stones and shattering the glass of the businesses and raids and stuff. And they felt a right to do that because it's not fair that they're not business owners and that they didn't have that opportunity to, or the education or the inheritance. They don't own, their ancestors don't own the land or own the businesses to pass down. But neither do a lot of white people or a lot of Asian people. They suffered as well. Think of all the white trailer park trash. When you're thinking of white people, don't think of the M&Ms of the world that didn't have anything growing up. You have to stabilize things. You have to think of, like, when you think of African Americans, the poor people in the ghettos, you also have to think about Barack Obama and Michelle Obama and Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Bill Cosby. Like, you have to think about the ones that are, like, there's so many African American people that Oprah Winfrey, I mean, like, Steve Harvey, like, so many comedians, so many athletes, so many, like, leaders like Nelson Mandela and Malcolm X and Bob Marley and Martin Luther King Jr. and just like so many amazing Black people. We're pushing this narrative like Black people are suffering, and we acknowledge the suffering, but it's like, aren't we on equal playing field now? I mean, like, there's never been a woman president, so who's suffering more? Like, the women of this country, the domestic violence rate, the killings of women, the torturing and enslaving and raping of women is across all races. And yes, we have a woman vice president, but which is so bad that, like, I'm hearing Camilla, like, I can't even remember her name. Like, they have not, like, I haven't been watching, like, politics and the news and, like, and I literally can't even remember her name right now, which is so bad. But I could remember all the Black leaders and all these other people. It's like ridiculous. But I don't know how much has she... I don't know the ins and outs, like how much she's contributing, or nobody's really talking about it. Like, she's not, to me in my life, she's not, her name isn't coming up. When Trump was in office, it's like all we heard was Trump, 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 you know? And Pence and all that. I'm hearing these names, and it's just like, I don't want to sound like I'm stupid or anything by saying these things, but I think like Spirit is trying to give me like hints and like clues of like what her name is. I'm getting, okay, I'm just gonna say this. I know this is gonna sound so stupid, so just bear with me, because God makes me not remember names to like, to make a point, or like to show like I'm getting these messages from Spirit. It's not from my own brain. It's like my brain is being blocked. Like, I'm being guided in these messages from the Holy Spirit. Like, I'm in the 5D realm. I'm not in the 3D realm when I'm doing these talks. I'm talking with the Holy Spirit within me. So I'm getting Camilla Parker Bowles and Anita Baker. So if those names, Kamala Harris, I'm getting Kamala Harris, Camilla Harris or something like that. Like Camilla, I know Camilla Parker Bowles was like, she the love interest of the Prince of Wales, oh my God, I don't want to sound stupid, but I'm hearing things like Prince Harry, and like I get these names and stuff, and like I know that's his son with the red hair, and I know Prince Philip is that his name? I know there's Princess Diana, is like, she was the main character. So And then I'm forgetting what the other boy's name is. I don't know if the... See, I'm not... Harry... I keep getting Harry. I know there's Philip, Prince Philip. Is that his name? Because I don't remember the other son's name. There's Harry, and then there's... I don't know if his name was Philip or that was his dad's name. I don't know. But anyways. So, I know that she was the love interest of Prince Philip. Anyways, and then Anita Baker, I know that is like a black woman. It might have been a poet or like a songwriter. Anita Baker. I'm getting like the American flag. Is she the one? I'm getting like Betsy Ross vibes. I'm gonna have to look up Anita Baker because I forget. She could even just be like some type of black woman historian figure. In the 60s, or I'm getting late 60s. I don't know. That's just what I'm hearing. So I get channeled messages, and then sometimes I don't really know like where it's going. And I'm getting like, I keep hearing Henry and Harry. I keep getting Prince Henry and Harry, but I know there's no Prince Henry. So it's like annoying. Because when I get these downloads, it's like I'm trying to talk, and then I'm trying to listen to the downloads, and I'm trying to figure out what do the downloads mean, because I know that it's not... I'm trying to interpret them. Like sometimes they try to help me, but then if it's not direct and to the point, like what is the name? Then it just irritates me. You know when you can't think of somebody's name and it's like on the tip of your tongue and you're just like, what? Oh, Charles. Oh my God. Prince Charles. That's the name of Princess Diana's ex-husband or whatever. I heard another thing, but oh my God. Oh my God, you guys, I heard something crazy. I can't even say it. It's so crazy. I'm literally so psychic that it's crazy. I can't even say it because it's so bad. I don't want the BBC on me. Like, I just want to live a free life. If you know what I mean. Hail to the Queen. It's kind of like a sarcastic. I'm just trying to navigate this whole spiritual journey and all these downloads that I'm getting. Like, I don't know about the monarchy and like having rules that everybody should obey and they have to keep their mouth shut. I heard about like arrests happening because somebody said something bad. Like, it wasn't even that bad. It was like somebody said, like, did we vote for that? And they were like arrested because they said that. Because it's a monarchy, and it's like they didn't vote for Prince Charles to become king. So if people didn't like it, they're like arrested, even for like, it's like the North Koreans, or who was that? Chinese? I think it was Chinese people were protesting with white blank pieces of paper. Nothing was written on the paper, but the government knew what the white paper represented and what they were saying. So they got like hurt or arrested for that. And so it's like, that's in a, okay, so this interrupted me and gave me the word monopolistic society. Monopolistic. A monopoly. Like, where it's not a democracy, it's not a vote of the people deciding, which our country isn't either, I feel like. That's been manipulated and tainted, because we're not, it doesn't feel like we have anything to do with the nominees. Like, that a lot of things have to do with money and status, and like, and how, and the white men are getting the status and the money. So it's not fair. This is the other thing that I was getting, is that, well, I heard about the reason why the white men kept getting into leadership roles. Like, we think there's equality, but like 20 years ago, 10 years ago, the internships that were not paid could be held by the white people, because if their parents were able to support them, if you're suppressed and poor, if you're oppressed and poor, you're not able to work a free internship. And those internships, the big companies would hire you because of your free internship. Then you would be promoted into these big companies. And then the minorities and stuff that were oppressed, that can't work a free job, weren't getting promoted into these big companies. Therefore, that's racism. Because those companies wouldn't even look at anybody that wasn't a free intern. So it's like, it's another manipulation of a workaround to be racist. So there's workarounds that are still happening. Like, it's like, there's still like that, the mentality and the inequality hasn't been worked out among us. And there's different groups that are trying to hold on to their race with their knuckles bleeding, like trying to grasp on so hard to like, we need to stick together because we're like all black, or we're all Mexicans, we need to stick together, or we're all like, I don't know what. There's certain races that do that and certain ones that don't. Like, all the white women aren't saying like, we need to stick together. Maybe like feminist women, like, but literally, like, are there women telling you what to do with your body and to get a vasectomy, or to get like, or you can't have children, or you're, well, they do tell you that you have to pay money for your child, but then that should make you more responsible with how you treat women, and who you date and who you have sexual relationships with. and whether you're going to leave them and how you're going to treat them to make them want to stay with you. It's like you have to have a true love relationship, and not just one based on superficiality and materialism and like wanting them to like raise your kids and cook and clean for you and shut up and like look pretty and like have a perfect body and like stupid stuff that hasn't to do with soul to soul. Like, what about really truly loving each other? What about that? That's spiritual. That's God. That's a soul connection. God has your soulmate and your true love and your twin flame out there for you. And that makes you want to change your behavior and love somebody else more than yourself. That is godly. That is of Jesus. In Jesus' name. So that's who you need to marry. That's who you are truly in love with. Is when you love somebody else more than yourself. When you change for that person and you can't live your life, you don't want to live without them. You don't want to chase a skirt. You don't want to look at them as a sexual object. You love them for who they are, their personality, you're in love with their heart and soul. That's who you need to love. It's not about looks, and yeah, you are going to be attracted to your life partner, but that's not what it's about. It's about getting to know their soul and the connection that you have, the chemistry and the connection on a spiritual level. Okay, I think, did I get all the topics out that I needed to? I think I did. That was a crazy runaround with the Prince Charles and stuff. That's like embarrassing. And the Camilla Harris or whatever, Kamala, I can't even pronounce her first name. Kamala Harris. It's like Kamala, Camilla. I think you pronounce it Camilla, like Camilla Parker Bowles. I think that's why like Spirit was telling me that. And then Harris, I don't understand how that relates to like Anita Baker or whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna have to look up Anita Baker and see what that's all about. I don't know why I'm getting like something about the American flag or the American history. Something about like maybe the national anthem. I don't know. America the Beautiful. I don't know. Or something to do with the flag, like sewing the flag or coming up with the design of the flag. American Eagle. I don't know. I wish I knew. I'm getting like a song. Music. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Okay, have a great day. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully this talk wasn't too traumatic for your day, that you can go like just love one another. Make sure you're not being a villain in this narrative. Okay? Have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time. Peace, love, and light.